Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 18th August 2024. So let's get started without wasting any time. So here I am taking 6 to 8 articles in this class. So first article it is about rise in militancy in Jammu and Kashmir. So because of rise of militancy in Jammu and Kashmir, so what are the negative impacts? So that is the thing which is mainly focused here. And actually this article is saying that because of increasing of militants in Jammu and Kashmir, it is affecting our tourism industry. Okay, so that is only one side effect. Apart from that, you have to think beyond, like you have to know what are the other negative impacts of increasing of militancy in Jammu and Kashmir. So where we can connect this topic, it is from your security from GS paper 3 point of view. And next topic is speak as one of the global governance. Modi tells developing world says, and he also seeking United Nations reform. So actually, you know that recently we discussed one article that India is hosting third summit of Global South. So in that event, our Prime Minister, he gave some statements. So you need to know those statements. And next one, it is about again flash floods in Himachal Pradesh. And because of this flash floods, it is having a negative impact. So that is the thing which is focused here, and we are going to see what are those negative impacts because of this flash floods. And this one is India needs to lift job growth via reform, says IMF Gopinath. So IMF is nothing but International Monetary Fund. So actually IMF chief is saying that, yes, recently we discussed one article that here there is a warning that many countries are going into this middle income trap, and even India is also one of the country that is going to have this issue soon. So because of this, here IMF chief is saying that we need to come up with increasing of employment opportunities. So how? We have to come up with some reforms. You have to know which reforms we can come up so that we can boost employment opportunities in India. And this one is differentially affected. It is about heat waves. Okay, so let us see one by one. And I want to get answers from you guys because you are well aware with these topics. Okay, so be planned. So first one is rise in militancy in Jammu and Kashmir cast shadow on border tourism. So here this article is talking about Jammu and Kashmir infiltration. So I'm going to explain nothing in this class. Don't expect anything from my side. So you have to give the answers. Okay, Jammu and Kashmir infiltration. So what are the reasons here why there is increasing of infiltration? Tell me fast. So what are the reasons of infiltrations in Jammu and Kashmir? So you can see border. So border issues, for example, with Afghanistan that comes under Pak occupied Kashmir region, and even with Pakistan we are directly sharing boundary. Next, because of abrogation of Article 370 and Article 35A. So what are these articles talking about? So these articles talks about special category status of Jammu and Kashmir. So they had been abrogated on August 5th, 6th, 2019. Next. Okay, now at least tell me from your side. So because of this infiltration Jammu and Kashmir, what are the negative impacts? So you can answer this part. Come on, tell me. What will be the negative impacts of increasing of Jammu and Kashmir infiltration? Take your subject wise: polity, history, geography, S&T, economy, environment and ecology, society, governance. Now tell me from each and every point what will be the negative impacts. Now is it easy? Think. Yes. Okay, future wars. Like 1975, like 1999 Kargil war, right? Next. Yes, we need advanced technology. It is also one challenge. Next. Defense. Okay, we need to recruit more people, that from governance. Okay, recruit. And even we discussed that we have to substitute them with other forces in the recent classes, right? We need to substitute them with other military forces. Next. Yes, local community participation, and they need to communicate properly with our military forces. Next. Next. From economy. Okay, money laundering will happen, terror financing will happen, and next, even it is impacting our tourism industry. That is a point which is focused here. And whenever it is affecting the tourism, even it will be affecting local employment opportunities. Okay, next. Yeah, from geography, guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare is also one challenge. And from science and technology, are we also using advanced technology? Next. Okay, geography you can write LAC, LOC. Okay, very good. Next. From environment and ecology, what happened? This environment conservation biodiversity will be getting stalled if that region is entering into this political instability. Next. Yes, polity surgical strikes, very good. And imposition of section 144 like that, very strict rules, right? So all these are the negative impacts. So now let us see what this article is talking about. So this article is saying that there is rise to militancy in Jammu and Kashmir, which is affecting our border tourism, especially in some areas like Keran. So you have to see in Jammu and Kashmir which are the important tourist sites. Okay, and you have to make the list of those tourist sites in this Jammu and Kashmir. And next one here is there is impact on militancy. So actually what happened here is, so there is again resurgence of insurgency had happened. So actually what happened is between India and Pakistan, we have ceasefire agreements. That means they should be there in their limits and we should be in our limits. So there should be no insurgency or no infiltration should be happen. So like that we had like 5 to 6 agreements between India and Pakistan. But despite of those agreements also insurgency is happening. So we are violating that agreements. So because of this, it is affecting our local economy and even there is increasing of cycle of insecurity in this region. So insecurity is also rising a lot. And next one here is because of this type of insurgency and this type of clashes, whether we will be allowing the tourists to come? No. So here there is stall or tightening of access of permissions to this tourist. So because of this, what happened? It is also decreasing or we are not taking proper tourism development efforts as well. So that it is also impacting our economy and it will be impacting the local livelihood also. For example, if many tourists are coming means the local people, they will be acting as guides, right? And they will be setting up of some local food materials, street foods, etc. So if there is no tourist coming there means, so those people have to shut their work. So that will be affecting their employment and as well as livelihood. And even there are no proper security protocols we are following. So even sometimes casual tourists, they will be coming, but at that time also government is not able to provide the proper security for them. That is the one important reason where there is declining of tourism number in this. And even there is also Pakistan influence. So whenever there is Pakistan army is bordering across our India and as well as Pakistan border, sometimes the tourists, they will be having tensions, like it may cause some violence like that. So because of this also the peace process will be not going proper, and the local economy, as I said, and even there are environmental concerns. So actually what happened, whenever there is increasing of military presence in this natural landscape, that will be disrupting obviously the local ecosystems, wildlife, and also local agriculture. Okay, so all those things will be get affected. Clear? And say this article title, Speak as One on Global Governance, Modi tells developing world seeks United Nations reform. So if you see this article, it is talking about Global South Summit. So what is this concept of Global South? It is talking about Global South Summit. So tell me from how many subjects we can read this. So first one is GS paper 2 IR. Next, GS paper 2 governance. Next, how society? Okay, I'll write. Okay, GS paper 1 and 2 society and social issues. Next, economy how? Okay, GS paper 3 economy. Next. Come on, you can do it. Okay, it is not related to geography at all. Okay, which countries? Okay, to some extent geography. Prelims and mains. Very good. Okay, so see here. So from international relations, you have to see like how India play a very important role in this global south and why India is hosting this global south summit. So these are the two areas we have to focus from international relations and from governance point of view. So what are the steps that is taken by the government to ensure the development of this developing countries and as well as less developed countries? And from society and social issues, you have to see what are the challenges faced by these countries. So actually, these global south countries are less developed and also developing countries. So here you have to see what are the challenges. Tell me what are the challenges faced by these countries. You will be having some idea. Tell me. Okay, spread of vulnerable. Okay, diseases. Next. Okay, less development. Next. Okay, no advanced technology. Very good. Yes, there is very low level of education. Literacy rate is very less. Next. Okay, they are facing with disasters. Hunger. Okay, high population. Very good. Next. Come on. You can do it. There will be no one will be there to daily encourage you. Come on, tell me. Education I wrote. Education, hunger. You have to write this poverty. Next. For what awareness regarding? Be specific. Come on, online guys. Which schemes? Okay, awareness about schemes. Okay, next. Very good. Inflation, there is less investment. And these countries are exporting what? Final goods or raw material? Yes, they are raw material exporting countries. Next. Next. Come on. Think. Okay. So tell me from economy point of view, what are the challenges you are facing? Economy. There is very low economic growth and inflation will be there obviously. And next, there is decreased food security or agriculture production because of impact of climate change. Okay, from geography you have to see. So which countries, they are part of this global south? Yes, migration, very good. From geography you can write migration. So in this migration you can write internal migration or international migration, very good. Okay, so here this article is saying that our Prime Minister, he focused that developing countries, they have to unite for just and inclusive global governance. So you have to make this note of this word, just and inclusive global governance. So if you want to integrate, okay, anything, okay, if you want to focus on development, so we need that unity is very important. So you know the story, like whenever we are united, nothing will be doing any harm. So you might be studying about the story of cows and tiger. Unity is strength. Yes, this story which we can apply here, that our Prime Minister is saying that developing countries, they need to be united so that we can ensure just and inclusive global governance. Okay, during the third Voice of Global South Summit. So in the summit, so this is the statement which is given by our Prime Minister. So how can you use the statement of Prime Minister? So whenever you are writing an answer regarding United Nations reforms or like Global South, you have to write that in introduction. Our Prime Minister in this third Voice of Global South Summit, he said that developing countries, they have to unite so that we can ensure just and inclusive global governance. So in this way, you have to enrich your answers with the current affairs. Clear? And he also called for United Nations reforms, and he announced that $3.5 million fund, it is very important for Global Development Compact. So you have to know about what is this Global Development Compact, and there are 10 principles are there under this. You have to know all these 10 principles because you can get a separate question in your mains regarding, write a short note on Global Development Compact. Okay. So the summit also addressed global tensions. So tell me about what are the global tensions we are facing. Okay, global tensions, what are the global tensions we are having? Okay, global warming. Next. Increasing sea level. Next. Okay, border tensions with neighboring countries. Or political instability in South Asia. Next. Yes, diseases in Africa. For example, mpox. Next. Yes, terrorism. Okay, disaster. Biowar. COVID-19. Next. Okay, for example, Russia-Ukraine war, and you can write Israel-Palestinian war. Next. Okay, trade war between, at present context, trade war between US and China. Next. So tell me the present thing. Okay, you can write about different organizations like NATO versus Warsaw Pact. Next. Okay, safety against women. Yes, illegal weapons, illegal armed trafficking, illegal weapons, armed trafficking, human trafficking, and even kafala system. Kafala is a forced labor system. Next. Okay, river issues, very good. And high seas problem. And recently we studied about basalt water, ballast water. Next. That is not a global, that is internal within country. Oh, very good. Money laundering, terror financing. Okay, so these. Okay, that comes under security issues, no? I wrote somewhere. Okay, I'll write security issues. Okay, so these are the global problems. So you have some idea, at least if you want to write any answer regarding global issues, at least you can write now 5 to 6 points along with examples. Yes or no? Okay. So now let us see, this article is focused on equitable financing. So as I said, no, like in yesterday's, after one's class is done, you asked me doubts. That is, yes ma'am, we have developed countries, developing countries and least developed countries. Why these developed countries are not giving funds to developing or least developed countries, right? So here they are focusing on this equitable financing, and even we need to focus on this north to south divide. So actually global north is a part of the countries which are developed countries, and global south is the developing and least developed countries. So now there is a lot of gap between this developed and as well as developing countries. how we have to bridge this gap. Now tell me how we can bridge this gap of global north and global south. Come on, tell me. Yes, tell me global north and global south. Global north is developed, and here we have developing and less developed. So how we can bridge this gap? So what are the steps can be taken? Come on, think. Huh? One by one, fast. Okay, first one is we need more funds. Next. Yes, whatever the agreements are there, so we have to follow those agreements. Okay, we need to properly enforce or strict enforcement of those. Next. Yes, very good. Technology transfer. Next. Okay, proper relations. Okay, to some extent. Next. Come on, think. You can do it. Yes, we need proper access to international markets. Yes, we need investment. Yes, very good. Next. Come on, think. You have that ability. Come on. Okay. So let us see what is this article saying, whether those points are there or not. So we need for united voices. So actually, if these countries which are less developed or least developed countries, if they are not properly represented in organizations, whether their voice get be heard, whether their problems get be heard, no. So in our United Nations Security Council, so as I said, we have temporary members and as well as permanent members. So actually, India along with Brazil, Germany, and we are fighting for increasing of permanent membership. So whenever this kind of reforms are coming under this international organizations, then only the voice of this less developed and developing countries will be heard. So we need reforms, first one. And this one is, as you said, we need proper funding for this development of the countries. And next one is we have to address this global conflicts. Like for example, Russia-Ukraine crisis is going on, Israel, Gaza issues is going on. So whenever these international issues are going on, because of now we are having this globalized era. That is, if something is happening in one country, it is having impact on another country. So in this interconnected world, so we need to stop this kind of global conflicts. And next one is, as I said, United Nations reforms is very much important. And even we have to exclude the major players. For example, absence of China and Pakistan, which raises the questions about inclusivity of such summits. So actually what happens here is, so majority, so actually we have to take continent wise, like America, North America, South America, Asia, Africa, and etc. And based on the countries and population, they have to give the membership in the United organizations. So actually, many a times in many organizations, Africa had been left. So very less number of seats are allocated. So, but that continent itself is a very less developed. So there should be the more inclusion from that so and so area, so that we can hear the voice of unheard. And next one is we need technology. And next one here is we need to have multilateral approach to the global issues, like ministers should be involved, and each and every level, like local level, state level, international level, global level, all should be included so that we can address this type of global issues. So as I said here, says United Nations GC, which calls to companies everywhere to align with their operations and strategy. So with 10 principles, so that is called as our United Nations. So here I said no, there is Global Development Compact. So United Nations came up with this Global Development Compact, and it is having 10 principles. So 10 principles are divided into different themes here. So first theme, it is based on human rights. So under this 10 principles, so it is saying that business should support and respect the protection of internationally proclaimed human rights. So whenever we are doing business, so we have to protect the human rights, and we have to ensure that there should be no human right abuses at all. And under this labor, there are other 4 more principles. The first one is we have to uphold the freedom of association, and we have to recognize that they are having the right to collective bargaining as well. And next one is we have to eliminate any form of forced labor or compulsory labor, and we have to abolish child labor. And next one is we have to eliminate discrimination any way, okay, either on religious basis or caste basis or like gender basis in employment and as well as occupation. So these are the 4 principles here. And next one here is regarding environment. We have to focus on environmental challenges. And next one is we have to promote greater environment responsibility. And next one is we have to focus on environment friendly technologies. And regarding anti-corruption, so business should work against corruption. There should be no extortion or there should be no bribery. So all these 10 principles are very important. And say this article, flash floods drown Himachal in a torrent of water supply problems. So because of flash floods, what will be the negative impacts? Tell me fast. So flash floods, what are the negative impacts? Yes, very good. First one is soil erosion. Next. Yes, soil erosion. Damage to human settlements. Next. Okay, loss of life, property, biodiversity. Next. Okay, economic loss. I told about loss of biodiversity. Next. Government loss. Which government? Okay, there will be increased spending, that is. Okay, increased spending after the disaster. Next. Next, come on. What happens because of flash floods? Think. So here you have to see during disaster, pre-disaster, and post-disaster steps regarding this flash floods. So this comes under entirely from your DM, disaster management. So now tell me what are the negative impacts. So even what happens? So whenever flash floods is happening, whether this groundwater table will be increased or decreased? Decreased. Actually, whenever groundwater is seeping, okay, for example, water is flowing here, whenever water is seeping inside the ground, whether we will be seeing the water will be flowing on the roads? No, right? So here, what happens whenever the flash floods is happening? So there is groundwater table will be also get affected, and this point had been focused on this article. Okay, in this article they focused on only that point. So how this flash floods or impact on this groundwater table. Okay, clear? So now let us see this article. So here flash floods in Himachal Pradesh have been intensified and leading to water supply crisis. And what happened here is traditionally whatever the springs, whatever the lakes, and whatever the groundwater is there, it is drying up in Himachal Pradesh. So here why there is increasing of flash floods? The important reason here is because of climate change. Okay, so because of climate change, there is significant impacts on infrastructure and as well as environment. And this article is saying that especially from last 1 to 2 months, there is increasing of flash flood occurrences, and because of this it is having negative impact on ecological balance and as well as water security in Himachal Pradesh. So whenever you are writing an answer regarding flash floods, you have to include this point that yes, it is also having impact on water security in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, clear? Am I making any sense while discussing the topics? Okay, so here this article is saying that there is increased flood frequency. So now state has recorded that there is increasing of flash floods, and in this monsoon around 51 incidents that had happened. So because of weather patterns, because of climate change, there is erratic rainfall which is happening in Himachal Pradesh. And this article is saying that 69.59% of traditional water resources is disrepair, and which is threatening food security or water security for the residents in this region. And even as you said, there is impact on settlements, that is infrastructure, there is damage to infrastructure. So that as Kamar said, so we need to increase the spending after once this is done. And next one here is climate change is also correlated with extreme weather events. So whenever you are writing about extreme weather events because of climate change, you can also write this flash floods in Himachal Pradesh. There also you can quote this article as an example. And who are vulnerable? So rural people are very much vulnerable here, because in urban areas, if they are not having proper water, they can call to the tankers and they can get the water. But it is not in the case of rural areas. So rural areas are much more vulnerable. And now we need to take proper actions so that we can maintain water sources, so that we can enhance disaster management strategies in Himachal Pradesh. Clear? Okay, let us see next topic. Here you can see India needs to lift job growth via reforms, IMF Gopinath. So now tell me, so this article is talking about we have to raise employment opportunities, right? So here IMF is saying that we have to come up with reforms. So till this it is clear, right? Now tell me, what are the reforms that we can come up to increase employment opportunities? Yes, very good. We can enhance skill or skill development. Next. Yes, we can provide support to this MSME, so that these MSMEs are considered as growth engines of the country. Next. Yes, very good. Education system need to be updated. Next. Yes, very good. We can incorporate technology. Okay, next. Yes, of course. We can increase investment, especially here. Whenever you talk investment, you have to talk about two types of investment. First one is foreign and next one is private. Next. Yes, we can promote schemes like Digital India, Make in India, Skill India. Next. Huh? Next. Adequate salary, okay. Yes, we have to take reforms for platform workers. Come on, fast. Sir will come. Time is up. Next. Reservation. Okay. Reservation for local peoples need to be done or not? Yes or no? Yes? Because Karnataka government came up with this law, you are saying yes. What if the same law which comes under Telangana? Then you will say no, right? I know. Okay. Reservation for local people. Somebody are saying no. I don't want to take any stand here. Okay, so don't comment negatively. Next. Depends upon the state where you are living. Okay. It is your choice whether it is yes or no. Next. Yeah, okay. Proper implementation of schemes and proper awareness of schemes, first of all. Next. Ah. So see here, this article is saying that India must implement reform. See the wording, must means compulsory, mandatory. Okay, enhance job growth so that we can enhance work quality in our country. So this is a thing which mainly said by IMF. So here, this article is focusing on, especially as you said, education system, but you forgot this point of women labor participation. This point you have missed, and even decreasing of barriers in international trade. So these 2 points that you had missed. Okay, and next one is investment, you said, right? And here this article is saying that we need to come up with a reform so that we can encourage hiring, and especially we can focus on reforms in our labor market. So whenever we are coming up with reforms in the labor market, that will automatically create the jobs. And next one here is women labor force participation is very less, that is just 35%. So we have to increase this women labor force participation. So how we can increase the women participation? So we have to enhance the safety, and we have to include those women also in on the policy, so that ultimately we can go for inclusive economic growth. And next one here is education quality, that as you said, so we have to improve this quality and depth of our education, and even we have to improve the skills of our workforce. And next one is whatever the tariff, that is barriers or their import duty, export duty, so we have to eliminate that so that we can reach the international markets. So whenever we are increasing exports, obviously increasing of production and obviously increasing of job growth. And next one is investment. We have to increase, okay, skills, and we can use this automation. And sometimes when we are using this automation, it will be also having negative impact that may also lose the jobs. So we have to have a proper balance between this. And see this article, differently affected. So do heat waves affect urban trees more than their rural counterparts or not? Okay, so this article is saying that, so heat waves is happening. So what is this heat waves? What is the criteria of IMD? I forgot, ma'am. 40, not percent. 40 degrees centigrade, 37 degrees centigrade, 30 degrees centigrade. So where? 40 degrees in plains, 37 in coastal areas, 30 degrees in hill areas. Okay. So heat wave is happening. So because of heat, what happens? Plants will be getting affected, plants or trees. So if we take plants or trees in rural areas on one side and urban areas on another side, so which will be get more affected? Urban areas. Why? Because of urban heat island. So compared to rural areas, in urban areas we are having more heat because of concretization of roads, because of concrete buildings, everything. Okay, so now what are the measures we have to take here? Tell me about measures. Fast, fast, fast. What are the measures? Happy birthday, Hema. Tell me. What are the measures we can take? Okay, we can improve green cover. So I said one scheme or method of urban afforestation. Anyone remember that? Can you recall? Afforestation in urban areas, we had one technique of Japanese. I said that question also appeared in your exam in prelims 2022. Miyawaki method. How many times should I say? Miyawaki method of afforestation. We can promote afforestation in this, and even we can promote tree islands. So even I said about this tree islands in recent times. So we can promote tree islands. Yes. Okay. So let us see this article. It is saying that recently one study which had been done in cities like New York, Boston, Baltimore, they are saying that because of these heat waves, especially rather than rural areas, urban areas are facing lots of negative impacts because of extreme weather. Okay, so here we have to focus on urban forestry management to combat this climate change, to mitigate these urban heat islands. Okay, so here this article is saying that especially we have to focus on urban forestry methods, for example, Miyawaki method. Okay, and we have to control this urban heat island temperature. So those things you have to see. And there are other articles here. The first one is subclinical TB is the reason for slow drop in TB incidence. So actually here TB is tuberculosis which caused by which organism? Mitochondria. Mycobacterium tuberculosis, it is a bacteria. So whenever you are getting TB, each and every part can be get affected. Even I also can get TB. So you should not remember that TB is causing only in lungs. So even eyes can be affected by this TB, and that comes under extrapulmonary TB. In TB we have two types, pulmonary TB and extrapulmonary. Pulmonary means which will be affecting our respiratory system. You will be getting cough, sputum, blood, everything. Other than this, pulmonary and different organs can be also affected by this bacteria which called as extrapulmonary TB. So for this you have to take minimum 1.5 years to 2 years of treatment, and recently we discussed about BPAL. Yes or no? BPAL, it is a new treatment so that we can reduce the treatment from 1.5 years to 2 years to 6 months of time. Okay, and even the problem here is we want to eliminate this TB in India, but the problem here is even after getting TB also, many people they will be not getting signs symptoms. So unless and until you will be getting signs symptoms, you will be going to hospital and check it for the disease, right? That is one important problem that we are facing in India. And next see here, urgently need to plug $4 trillion financing to gap hasten pace on SDGs. So SDGs are nothing but how many are there? 17, right? So when we have to achieve them, what is the target year? 2030. So if you see, there are very extreme things like poverty, hunger, life below earth, life below the water, economic growth, inclusive growth, everything will be there, right? So here to achieve them, we need lots and lots of funds. At least we need 4 trillion financing. That is the thing we need. So, but we don't know from where we are going to get that $4 trillion. Okay. And see other article, Sabarmati Express train derails in Uttar Pradesh. Again, one more train accident. So how many had happened from last 2 months? 5 or 4? So here you have to think about again which system? Covered system, and also European train system. Okay, European security system. You have to focus on those, and even you have to see what are the challenges we are having in our railways. So what are the reasons for this kind of incidents, and what will be the impact? And next here you can see with more graduates in workforce, Tamil Nadu is struggling with skill gap. So yes, what happens? So there is increasing of graduates without proper skill. So it is one important problem in our economy. Okay. So you have to give about this, and what is this underemployment? So in employment we have different types of unemployment, right? Structural unemployment, fictional, cyclical. No idea. Very good. Ramesh sir explained those things. Structural employment, fictional unemployment, cyclical unemployment. Okay, so unemployment is nothing but, for example, you got degree like BTech, but you are doing very less quality job that is not matching your education status. That is called as underemployment. So Tamil Nadu is facing this problem of under unemployment. Why? Because of lack of skills. So this article you can use as a case study whenever you're talking about different types of unemployment. Okay, so these are the articles which are relevant from our examination point of, which appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. If you like this class, please hit the like button, and please do share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathod Science Academy.